She sat there, pleased with herself, wearing that fitted dress, lips curled in a smile that cut deeper than any blade. "I don't work," she announced to the court, angling her chin toward the judge. "So I'll never stop living off him." A ripple of amusement traveled through the room. Even the bailiff couldn't help a grin. And I, her husband, the man she deserted in a hospital bed hours after our child was born, remained motionless, mute, watching it all. I didn't flinch. I didn't argue. Anger, when it is contained, becomes precise, and I'd been honing mine for months. When she walked away, she didn't pack wardrobes or photo albums. She took only one thing: our baby. Her arms were still raw from delivery, her body still trembling from labor, but her resolve was iron. To run, to sever ties, to leave me under harsh hospital lights with an empty crib at my side. No note. No explanation. Just absence. At first I excused it. Exhaustion, postpartum fog, panic. But days became weeks, then months, and her disappearance stopped feeling accidental and started to look planned. Her lawyer's letters proved it. Demands for cash. Claims on property. Custody petitions written in her tone but sharpened by someone else's hand. Beneath every demand I could almost hear her laugh. She believed she'd broken me. Nobody knew what I was doing. At work I smiled. I replied to questions with careful calm. Privately, I mapped her life. I collected bank statements, phone records, the new address. I learned the name of the man who stood behind her grin. Not an old boyfriend as she insisted, but a recent conquest, a leech profiting off her chaos. I tailed her not with tires screeching in alleys but with receipts, timestamps, and digital footprints. Abandonment may try to absolve responsibility, but it leaves traces. I catalogued every one. The hardest part wasn't locating the proof. It was holding it close while the court painted me bitter, unstable, obsessive. Her attorney pushed that line hard, calling me unfit, a dangerous parent. She sat there, feigning fragility, batting her eyes, wielding motherhood like armor. Armor breaks. The heavier the shield, the harder its fall. The hearings dragged. Her smirks multiplied. Her laughter seemed to infect the gallery. They believed her story, until the day everything changed. The judge lifted a file, poised to rule. Her face shone with triumph. I reached into my bag. My voice was calm, measured, almost unnerving in its steadiness. "Actually, Your Honor," I said, and placed an envelope on the bench. The room's atmosphere altered. Her lawyer's expression tightened. She stopped mid-breath. Inside that envelope was the chronology of her abandonment. Records proving she left our child in the care of the man she had taken up with while she spent nights in bars and long stretches in hotels. Bank withdrawals labeled as child support, redirected to spa treatments, new wardrobes, and trips. And at the bottom, photographs not taken by me but by a daycare worker she had lied to. My child alone, crying, clearly neglected. The judge's forehead creased. The confident curve of her mouth split like glass. "Mister," the judge said, colder now, "this changes everything." For the first time she looked at me properly. Not at the caricature she tried to build, but at the man who had watched, waited, and documented. Her lips parted. No sound came. The courtroom that had been full of jeers slipped into a silence so thick it felt suffocating. The ruling followed quickly. Custody granted to me. Her support claims reversed. Her petitions denied. The court recorded her as unfit. She sank into her chair. Her lawyer whispered frantic instructions. She didn't answer. I didn't cheer. I didn't allow myself a triumphant smile. I simply rose, slung my bag over my shoulder, and walked past her. She reached out, fingers shaking as if to stop me. Her hand never found my sleeve because I didn't turn. Revenge doesn't need drama. It doesn't require cruel words or spectacle. It needs patience. It needs quiet. It needs the crushing weight of truth dropped like a stone into still water, sending out ripples that can't be ignored. She thought she had tied me to her fate. Instead, she bound herself. At home, My child slept without waking. No more lonely sobs in the middle of the night. No more waiting for arms that never came. I sat in the dark beside the crib and listened to that small, steady breathing. For the first time in months the air felt clear, not jubilant, not light, but clean. Purity, I decided, was sufficient. She had left me with nothing but silence. I turned that silence into my instrument and used it to cut the threads of her life apart.